K&A Custom Crafts on Facebook.
All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to the Morning Shot. I am the Sarge here, and kind of blacked out right now is J-Mac, the bearded one. J-Mac, are you there?
I am here.
All right. Looks like he's going to go on the audio style as of right now with the show. Again, like I said, welcome back to this is our second edition of the Morning Shot. So, all right, a little bit of technical difficulties right there, but we're good. So we got some good storylines that are happening within the sports world today. We're going to start with the WNBA because the first happened ever for the Chicago Fire. They won their very first championship with Cooper being the MVP of the series. J-Mac, how are you feeling about that?
Well, it's good as it's the first basketball championship in Chicago since the Bulls in '98. So it's their first one in what, 23 years?
Yeah.
For the city of Chicago for basketball, that is. They've had their championship since then. Of course, the White Sox winning the championship, but and the Cubs. But yeah, first basketball championship in 23 years is pretty impressive. The Chicago Sky, no one saw that coming. I don't think anyone had them picked to win the championship in the WNBA, so it definitely was good. A good showing for the women there. Great for women's sports. I was really disappointed with how they had the championship game in the middle of Sunday afternoon when all of the NFL was on. That was definitely a disappointment for me.
Yeah, I would admit I was kind of disappointed, like the time frame that they had, or their time selection with that, which I didn't get. You have a championship game. I don't care if it's a women's sport, but it's a championship game, and I think it should be one primetime games that should be on there. That's me. And also, I believe, wasn't it Candace Parker who came back as well?
Yes. Yes, Candace Parker grew up on the streets of Chicago. She played college in Chicago, and then went to the Sparks and came back and won a championship in Chicago. So great for her.
Yeah, that is awesome. And Taurasi, Diana Taurasi, she even mentioned something that saying that the Magic slipped away from the Phoenix Mercury, and because she got a little heated on the court as well. And isn't it one of the coaches that said that she was the coach who said it, I don't remember her name, you probably do, but they said that she should have been like at least fined or suspended for her actions or something like that. Can you explain a little bit further on that one?
Yeah, she wasn't being a very good teammate, and she wasn't being very sportsmanlike for sure. Getting upset at her team and that the other team was winning, which we all get upset when we're losing. And it was really, really disappointing to see for Diana Taurasi. She used, I wouldn't say she used derogatory words, but just words that you wouldn't normally hear from her. Definitely being, what's the word I'm looking for? Frustrated by the loss for sure. And probably just she was more taunting, more showing up the other team than and her own team. So one of the greats just had a moment, and they've all had those. So I don't take anything away from her and what she's done in her career for sure for that. But yeah, Diana Taurasi, little bit of a hiccup in her career, I think.
That is definitely true. So moving forward, we're gonna stay in the NBA. We're gonna go on the men's side with this. Let's start with the Lakers. They're 0-2, and they have like a mini super team that is happening as of right now. And
Sure.
Now Howard and Anthony Davis, they got in a little squash at the end towards the game, and they're saying they already squashed it. But the problem is they got into it with the fans. Is this a time to set the alarms for the LA Lakers as of right now with what happened with that loss?
You know, it's 2 games into the season. There's 80 games to go. We'll see how everything turns out. Um, but will all those egos be able to be in the same building? I think that's what that comes down to. You got LeBron, AD, Dwight Howard, and Westbrook all in the same building, along with Carmelo Anthony. So you got 5 huge names in the NBA that are all trying to coexist on the same team. You hope they can make it work, but for the Lakers fans, you hope they can make it work. Well, it will remain to be seen for sure. But that's what happens when you get a super team and you get all those egos together, I think. So the alarm bell's not yet. I think a few more games and we'll see. I mean, if you start, 0-4, 0-5, you might. LA's a hard place to play. LA, New York, and Philadelphia are the 3 sports cities that definitely turn on you faster than any other cities in America. So I think those are really hard places to play. And again, especially you're going to start 0-4, 0-5. You start that. I mean, you're going to start. Fans are going to start not enjoying the games, and you're not going to enjoy playing in front of those fans. That's for sure.
That is definitely true. And you mentioned New York. I don't know the last time when New York actually won a playoff game or a championship in the NBA with that. Might have to do a little digging on that one. Because I know in the 90s they were kind of competitive there, but now to me it doesn't seem like I would want to go to New York if I was a athlete or if I was a basketball player. That's one place I want to stay away from with that one. So keeping on the east side coast, we got the 76ers having their own dilemma, which happened before the season even began with Ben Simmons. And they pretty much kicked him out of practice, and now Ben Simmons is saying that he's mentally not ready to play. Should the 76ers move on from Ben Simmons? I'm going to say yes, because, I mean, I don't know what he brings to the team. I know our own ace can score more points than he can, or at least score more three-pointers than he can. I can't fathom why you keep a guy who is not that good. So, with that. So, what is your thoughts with that, J-Mac? Well, it looks like J-Mac got a little bit busy right there. So, with Ben Simmons there, what's happening is they don't know if they want him on the team or not. The GM has come back and saying that we're all here fighting for the GM and so forth. So, J-Mac, what's your take on Ben Simmons there?
The 76ers is definitely they have a chance to get rid of him and still get something for him. I mean, if you sit out an entire, even a half of a season, and you get the label of a prima donna, or you have an issue in the locker room or locker room cancer, whatever, definitely is not going to do good for you moving on to another team. So they need to get rid of him while they can still get something for him, is my opinion.
All right, and we got our first comment of the show, and it's to you, J-Mac. He said, Justin Mountain Dew Bossman says, "What up, J-Mac?" He says hi, and so Justin, welcome to the show. Thank you for commenting. You're the first one that comment on the show, even from last week. So congrats. So moving on, we're going to move on to a little bit on the MLB side, because we got the NLCS happening tonight. And I know J-Mac is going to probably be watching this game, because you got the Atlanta Braves, who, if they win, they get to go to the World Series against the Astros. But they're going to have to fend off against the Dodgers, who we still do not know who the pitcher is. So, J-Mac, who is going to pitch for the Dodgers, and will the Braves win it tonight?
I hope it's David Price, and if it's David Price, we will win. Last time he pitched against us, it was 2/3 of an inning, and he gave up 4 runs. So I hope that is, and I would love to, whoever their starters, I'd love to get them out of the game early, because they burned through 7 bullpen pitchers in the last game by doing a bullpen game. So they've all pitched multiple games now, which getting into that bullpen would be the best thing to do. We have Soler coming back tonight in the starting lineup. He was out with COVID, so that'll be a boost tonight, I think. But it's going to be a good game. It's an interesting series for sure. It'd be the Braves back in the World Series for the first time in the new millennium. Last time they were in was 1999, so um, it'd be the first time in the new millennium. So let's hope that happens. But we'll see who pitches, and I hope it's David Price.
All right. I'm a Mariners fan, and I kind of hope. I said this last night on another show that I kind of hope that the Dodgers actually do win, because with the history that the Astros and the Dodgers have now since the 2017 World Series, with the cheating scandal going on and so forth, I kind of hope that the Dodgers do win, and that series is going to be like really epic once it hits the LA with that. But even though if the Braves do make it, I think the Braves will still make it pretty competitive for the Astros. With that being said, J Mac, with go Braves win it tonight. Who is going to win the World Series between the Astros and the Braves if the Braves do win it tonight?
It's going to be a tough series, but if the Braves pull it out tonight, then that means that our game one starter could be Charlie Morton, who has proved this year that he's been our best pitcher. I mean, he won 15 games in the regular season, and his last 12 or 13, we were 11-1 or 12-1, something like that in his last 12 or 13 games. So he'd be our game one starter if we don't need him for game 7 of the NLCS. It'll be fun. It'll be an offensive series. I don't think it'll be a pitching series against the Astros. I think no matter who goes, if it's the Dodgers or the Braves, the offense is going to have to be. You have to keep up with the Astros. They could score a lot of runs really fast.
All right, then we got Justin saying that he wants to see the Dodgers in the Astros series, and he thinks the Astros will win that series if that does happen. And I don't know if the fans can actually sway the momentum and so forth with all that. So with that being said, J-Mac, the Jaguars on the NFL and on the in the NFL won their first game and across the pond they call it in England. What is your takes on that win with that one? Because that was a pretty epic win in my book.
Well, it was a pretty epic win. I mean, you went back and forth as far as who was leading the game. And both teams had a chance to win for sure. But the interesting thing to me is that they have a kicker in Wright who had never attempted a 50-yarder in his life. And he hit a 53-yarder in regulation and a 54-yarder in overtime to win that game. So it was a pretty interesting game, no doubt. Trevor Lawrence had his best game as a pro. And then you have James Robinson, he's like 4th in the league in rushing yards. No one saw that coming when he was drafted, but he's been one of the premier running backs in the NFL. So they could put some stuff together. I don't think this year they're going to make a run for the playoffs, but I think that up-and-coming great things in Jacksonville, if Lawrence can stay at that, they can keep a kicker. And, you got Robinson. You had a couple pieces on the defensive side, and they'll probably be a competitive team in a couple of years.
I have to agree with you. I'm going to give it 2 years for the Jaguars to be competitive, at least in the playoffs. If they can continue the momentum off of this win, that the first kick or the kick before the winning field goal was like a curveball or a slider, you want to call it in the baseball, because like you said yesterday, it was off the computer screen. Then all of a sudden, it just snuck right over between the two goalposts with that one right there. And that's awesome. So with the NFL also, who's going to win? What's going to happen first? Are the Lions going to win their first game, or are the Arizona Cardinals going to lose their first game? What happens first with that one? I'm saying Arizona loses their game first.
Yeah, the way that things have gone for the Lions this year, and being a Packer fan, I don't root for the Lions, but they've found some difficult things have happened to them this year to lose games. They just keep finding ways to lose. So I think that Arizona will lose their first game before Detroit wins their first one.
I'm going to have to agree with you on that one, because that NFC West is a pretty competitive division in the NFL as well. With like you got the you got the Rams, you got the 49ers. I know the Seahawks are having a down year, but you still got them still fighting down there, even though they're out with Russell Wilson. So I have to agree with you on that one that it's going to have to be the Arizonas. But would it be the first time ever if the Lions go 0-16? That would be like the first time in NFL history that any team has gone 0-16 because they went in 0-16 once before, and this will be their second time if that happens.
Yeah, and it's 0-17 this year because they added the one game this year. So could they be the first team to do that? I mean, it's possible at this point. They find ways to lose games all the time, but I think that they realize what they had in Matthew Stafford now, and they brought in Jared Goff, and they're realizing that maybe he wasn't the answer after all. And I don't think that Jared Goff is at a point where he's a starter in the NFL anymore. I think he'd be a solid backup somewhere. He could give you a game or two if you needed him relief in the middle of the year, but I don't think he's NFL starting caliber anymore.
I never thought he was an NFL starter because I call him Goff awful. That's what I call him. But I like your term verbiage on there. And the coach for the Lions isn't happy with his play last week, and his stats were pretty horrible. And it's so horrible I don't want to bring it up on the show with that one also. But the best chance that they have to win a game is going to be December 26th against the Falcons for the Lions on that one. So, and also it's a pretty big game for the Lions as well this week, even though they're playing against the Rams because they traded the two quarterbacks. What's your thoughts on that game? I have the Rams winning at least by 14 points on that one.
Yeah, I think so. I think that the Rams are going to win it pretty easily. I think that Stafford's going to come out and show you why they should not have gotten rid of him, why they should have held on to him and tried to build around him. He came out and saying that he loves playing in LA. It's like a dream. He woke up and went to a great organization. So it's going to be a good week for Matthew Stafford.
All right. So next, we're going to go into to take your shot. Right now, this little segment right here, we're going to rant or rave on a topic or topics that we have with that. I have two raves with this one. The first one is the WWE. If anybody follows the wrestling and so forth, I mean, they had a big pay-per-view or a big show on Thursday down in Saudi Arabia. And I kind of enjoyed that they're actually reaching out towards another fan base out in a different country in the Middle East, so forth. And I just want to say congrats. I heard it was a pretty awesome show from everything I heard and so forth. So I think that was pretty empty. But my next rave is for the Browns. I posted this in our group yesterday. His name is Stump Mitchell, and he is the coach for the Cleveland Browns. I forget what coach he's for. Let me see if I can find it again. I don't remember what position he coached, but man, I don't know, J-Mac. I think he's got you beat on the hair and the beard. If you look him up, Chris, I don't know. I sent you the picture of him, but J-Mac, you gotta look at this guy. He has the hair and the beard and everything. I mean, he is the running coordinator for the Browns, and like they showed a picture of him. I thought it was great. So, what's your rant and rave today?
Mine today is going to be on Major League umpiring. I've seen some great umpiring. Now, if we don't mention an umpire's name during a game, that means he's doing a great job because we haven't had a lot to say. I think that the last game in the NLCS was a great behind the plate, pretty uh, pretty straightforward. He called the same on both sides. Um, the game before that was There was an interesting at bat where they said that he didn't swing, but it was the same swing as the end of the Giants and Dodgers uh, NLDS game that the Giants got called out on, but the same swing for the Dodgers wasn't a swing. So I think that we gotta do a little bit better job and make sure it's pretty around the board. It's the same for everybody on their swings, and that's Major League umpiring. And then the one good thing I want to say that I've seen a lot of is also the Cleveland Browns. They had a third string running back go for 146 yards and 2 touchdowns against what's supposed to be a spectacular Broncos defense. So they might have the best 3 running backs in football right now. That's not named Derrick Henry. Derrick Henry's far and above the best running back in the NFL right now. No one's going to take that crown down from him until someone holds him under 125 yards in a game.
Alrighty. So last week we took our picks on some highlighted games, especially in the top 5 of the college football, and I failed miserably on my picks with that one because I picked Iowa to beat Purdue, and guess what happened? Purdue beat Iowa, and there was another one also that got beat. That one I can't remember the pick because I kind of just took that out of my mind with that one. So I think we should go with the top 5 again if you're okay with that, J-Mac, on with that.
Yeah.
So
you tell me the game and I'll pick it.
All right. I'm gonna look for Ohio State versus Indiana. Who do you got?
Ohio State's ranked 5.
Ohio State's ranked 5. Yes, sir.
I would love to say Indiana, but I think Ohio State will pull it out.
All right. Their line is -21. Are they going to cover that?
I don't think they cover, but I think they win.
All right. I am not going to say if they cover or not because I found out that you guys cannot trust the Sarge on betting in sports, and I found that out myself the hard way as well. So I'm picking Ohio State as well, and I am going to say they're going to cover. That's what I'm saying. So the next game, we got Tennessee at the number 4, Alabama. And I'm going to go with Alabama on this one. And I think they're going to cover with 25. And your thoughts, J-Mac?
Yes. I think they're going to win. I think they're going to cover. I think Alabama is not going to lose a game the rest of the season. They lost one. And I don't think Nick Saban's going to allow them to lose another one.
All righty. And we got who else do we have? Here we got number 3, Oklahoma versus Kansas. And who are you picking? And because I guess the line is Oklahoma -38.
Yeah, it's not even going to be close. I don't know if it'll be 38. It might be, but Kansas is horrible. And Oklahoma's ranked 3rd in the country. So, I got it something like 40-7, 41-14, something ridiculous like that.
Okay. Then the last game, because Georgia, who is ranked number 1 in the nation as of right now, they have a bye. So our next one is our Cinderella darlings, Cincinnati Bearcats. They're at Navy today. And the Cincinnati line is 28 or -28, my bad. I think Cincinnati is going to be a blowout. Cincinnati wins, and they're going to stay at the number 2 spot at the end of this week. Your thoughts?
Yep, I think they stay at number 2. I think they actually shut out Navy today. I think it'll be like 35-40-0, something like that. They're going to wipe the floor with them. It's not even going to be a close game.
Does anybody move up in the ranks in the top 5 at all, do you think?
No, I don't think so. I think it stays the same.
Okay, I want to stay in the NCAA or in the national or college football as of right now because I have an upset alert today. UCLA is going to upset Oregon today. It's going to happen. I felt it. I feel it. Your thoughts on that?
That was actually going to be my upset pick of the week. So, yeah, I'm with you on that one.
All right, at least we're on that one. So also we're going to turn back to baseball. We got the Dodgers versus Atlanta. Did the Braves do it today? Did they get the win, J-Mac?
Yes. 4-3 final score.
4-3 final score. I'm going to say yes, and it's going to be 6-1. That's what I'm saying on that one. And the other big games that are going on, we're going to go to the NFL. Another big game is Atlanta versus Miami. Who do you have?
Atlanta.
Really?
Yep.
I'm going to go with Miami on this one. I think they honestly have a better defense than Atlanta. So, all right, and our last one is going to be the Sunday night football game. Who do you have? Indianapolis Colts or the San Francisco 49ers?
That's a tough game. I'll go Niners on that one.
I'm going to have to differ from you on this one. I think the Colts are going to do it. Wentz is back. He's healthy, and that O-line's healthy. So that is going to be the Colts right there. So with that time, J-Mac, it's that time, sir. I know you got to get back to work. So I'll give you 30 seconds.
Thanks, guys, for watching. First off, we tried out the show. We did pretty good on the debut. The second or third highest ranked show on the network last week. So we enjoy doing this, getting on with a Sunday morning. I know we don't have a lot of morning shows, so we thought this was a good idea. And continue to watch us tonight. Sports Minutes on tonight. And then, we'll be back with a new Four Bros radio show on Monday night. It's always a great show. Watch that. We have some fun. So check us out and check out Coast to Coast Entertainment coming to you live every day of the week.
That is great. I love this network. It's really like a family with this network. I just want to say, everyone, thank you for watching the second show. And Chris, who is behind the scenes, I just want to say thank you, sir. All you do with all the shows from behind the scenes. Without you, this could not happen. So, Justin, I just want to say thank you for all of your comments that you left us on the Facebook. We tried to get to all the comments, but sometimes we don't get to it, and I do apologize for that. But you know what? Check out the other show, Sports Minute tonight, and check out the Four Bros on Mondays and Fridays as well. So, I am the Sarge with J-Mac, the bearded one, and Mitch and Stump Mitchell. You're my new hero now. So, everyone, have a great weekend. Remember, take that shot. Chris, can you roll us out?